Hey y'all, am I the only one who feels like the Bad Batch is moving kind of slow setting up the story? What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince and I'm an urban acolyte. Hey man, I'm all caught up with the Bad Batch after not seeing the last 3 episodes, and I want to rap with y'all about the story and where I feel like it's going, and also why it feels like it's taking so doggone long to set up the story. Now look, just to be clear, I didn't miss the previous 2 episodes because I don't like it or anything. I'm doing this 4-month-long apprenticeship to become a trainer with GMB, that's Gold Medal Bodies. If you know anything about GMB's programs, I'm basically doing all of them at the same time to become a trainer. Some days it takes like 4 hours to do all of the workouts and the other assignments, so I've just been too busy and too tired to remember to catch the Bad Batch on the weekends. Anyway, so what's happened since the last time I posted a video about the Bad Batch? Well, we found out that Fennec Shand is after the Bad Batch, or specifically, she seems to be after Omega. She didn't particularly seem to be all that interested in her brothers, besides rubbing them out so that she could take Omega. The episode after that, we saw the group travel to Ord Mantell, where they met with Space Carla from Cheers to get information on Fennec Shand. And yes, I said Space Carla. Look, I know that's not the character's real name, but she's voiced by Rhea Perlman, who played Carla on Cheers. So I'm calling her Space Carla. I don't care what her name is. But anyway, Space Carla is like this information broker, which means she's connected with bounty hunters, and she also used to be connected with the Jedi. She actually may still be connected with some Jedi. She's a lot like Maz Kanata from the sequel trilogy, and since Maz Kanata is like as old as Yoda, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Maz's name got dropped at some point if the Bad Batch is going to keep running around dealing with people in the underworld. But anyway, this week's episode saw the Bad Batch headed to Corellia to retrieve a tactical droid. They ended up running into the 2 chicks who were hanging out with Ahsoka down on level 1313 on Coruscant, and it looks like the 2 sisters are on the come up because they're working for someone who sent them on the same mission. Now, I'm not doing an episode breakdown and review, so I don't know. Maybe go watch a Star Wars channel that does that kind of thing. I'm looking at the bigger story and discussing the plot points that I see. So at the end of the episode, we see Hunter give the data from the tactical droid to the sisters, and they report to whoever they're working for that there's some rogue clones out there, and whoever they're working for might be interested in them. Now, the buzz on Twitter after the episode ended was that they might be working for Bail Organa, and right now, look, we don't know, but that raises an interesting point, but it also makes the Bad Batch even more confusing right now. I say that because, where's the story going? I can see them eventually getting involved with a rebel cell. We can't call it a rebellion because it doesn't become a rebellion until towards the end of Star Wars Rebels timeline. The only thing close to a rebellion right now is what Saw Gerrera's doing with his partisans on Onderon. And I should note that the Bad Batch did go there in the first episode. The only other rebel movement we know is what was set in motion on Coruscant during the Revenge of the Sith with Padme, Bail Organa, and Mon Mothma. So right now, Ahsoka, she hasn't even joined Bail unless a whole lot of time has passed since Empire Day. Now, I was always under the impression that she was sort of in hiding, hanging out with that Fardis family before she ends up leaving, leading a small rebellion on that other planet, taking out an Inquisitor, and then becoming Fulcrum. But it seems like retcons are happening right and left when it comes to that stuff that's in the Ahsoka Tano novel. So I don't know. But anyway, the point I was making was that it seems like the Bad Batch could eventually be on that trajectory of becoming part of a rebel cell. But right now, I don't see that being the central story. If this runs for a few seasons, maybe that's where things could be headed, or maybe that's where they'll go after we deal with the issue that's right in front of us right now. So the most pressing issue that I see has to do with Omega. Now, with all of these shows, the kid character is the one who's on the hero's journey, which sort of gets the central focus of the show. Now, we've seen with characters like Sabine Wren that other people are also on that journey. And even in the case of a character like Kanan Jarrus, like he's supposed to be the wise mentor figure, but the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch have added more to his story and shown us how his journey actually began. And even as the mentor, he's also the hero on his own respective journey. With Omega, we're seeing her slowly develop into whomever she's meant to become, but we don't really know who that is right now. Fennec Shand seems to clearly be after only her, and the question is, well, who's actually interested in Omega? I mean, just based on the evidence we have right now, it looks like the Kaminoans hired Fennec Shand to retrieve Omega because she's part of this superior clone project that they seem to be working on in order to save their contract that they had back with the Republic, and they want the Empire to continue it, so they need to prove that clones are necessary to the goals of the Empire. I mean, that's just what we've seen right now. So is Omega a Palpatine clone? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the story. I haven't seen any strong evidence to support Omega being some kind of hybrid of Palpatine and Jango Fett's DNA, and the only person to give me some bit of evidence based it completely on Omega's hairline. Honestly, I think that's a stupid theory, but hell, I thought the Rey Palpatine theory was stupid after The Force Awakens, and J.J. Abrams liked it enough to do it in The Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know. And just on a side note, my friend who has directed a few Hollywood movies, he shared this article last week about how Hollywood keeps recycling the same bad stories, and they won't allow people into the club with fresh ideas. I mean, maybe that's why it unknowingly figured out the entire sequel trilogy back in 2016. And look, y'all, I am not joking. Go back and look at some of those videos from summer 2016. I make a bunch of offhand comments that I didn't even remember saying, where I say stuff that ends up happening in The Rise of Skywalker. But anyway, look, y'all, I know what time period we're in, but I mean, I'm just tired of the whole Palpatine thing. Like, I need a break from everything being tied to Palpatine. Like, did any of y'all play City of Heroes? It's like everything in that game is a Nemesis plot. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, first off, City of Heroes is my favorite superhero game, and I still play it. There's this guy named Nemesis who makes these automatons. He's been around like a really long time, going back to like the 19th century. Later on, you find out that he's actually some kind of a time traveler, and he comes to the present from the future as some kind of hero, saying he's trying to atone for all the bad stuff that he did in the present and in the past. And as you keep going through the story, you find out that you can't trust him at all because he's basically behind everything. So it comes down to every plot in the story is a Nemesis plot, because eventually it all ties back to Nemesis. I mean, what did I say about Hollywood recycling the same stories? Everything in Star Wars feels like a Palpatine plot. So that's why I would like it if Omega could not be connected to some contingency plan that Palpatine has. I mean, really. But for now, look, let's just focus on what's actually in the story. Right now, we still don't know what makes this girl special. She's supposed to be the 5th clone in the batch, but for whatever reason, she didn't have her aging accelerated. I mean, why is that? Why does she age normally? Why is she a girl? Why does she have blonde hair? Everyone in the Bad Batch has some special skill. What is hers? In the first episode, they kind of set her up like she might possess all of their skills. But since the premiere, she's just been a normal kid for the most part. I mean, yeah, she's had her time to shine in the episodes with the Rancor and a few other times. But really, it's been this formula of Omega gets into trouble and the rest of the team has to save her, in addition to pulling off whatever the goal is of the episode. And I mean, I guess that adds to the suspense, right? You can't have a show without Omega. She kind of has that Baby Yoda Grogu status right now, and then we're really tuning in to see what she's going to do. And so far, she really hasn't done much if we're really being honest with ourselves. I know some of the podcasts run by women in the fandom feel like everyone ought to just listen to Omega, like it should be the Omega show. I mean, look, y'all, that's cute and all, but no. Just no. Omega has shown that she's not fit to lead. She's still a little girl trying to make her way through the galaxy, and she can't do it without the help of her older brothers to keep her safe. As for what's happening with the Bad Batch, they're still dealing with Space Carla because they're trying to get information on Fennec Shand. Why is she after them, and who is she working for? What is the superior clone project that the Kaminoans are working on, and how does it relate to Omega and the rest of the Bad Batch? Also, let's not forget about the Crosshair and the Dark Trooper program. Is there some kind of redemption arc for him? Is he going to end up hunting the rest of the Bad Batch? These are the real questions we need to keep in mind when it comes to these episodes. Some of these episodes that people might call filler are setting up stories that may bridge off of the main story, but they're also helping to set up whatever is coming. As far as what is coming, we've seen just about everything from the trailer except for the episode with Captain Rex and the scene with those tanks on whatever planet that is. Maybe it could be Ryloth because, I thought I saw Twi'leks, but I really have no idea. But if I had to guess, I would say the Space Carla is going to send them off to do something with Captain Rex that will probably be so bad it forces Rex into exile, like we see when he links up with Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels. It could also explain how he got his hands on that tank that they're in. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see how things unfold with regard to the questions I asked earlier regarding how this story is going to unfold. Real quick question for you guys though. This isn't at all related to the Bad Batch, but I mentioned that I'm no longer focusing on Star Wars. I'm just trying to look at general geek culture that interests me. So I was just wondering if you guys have been seeing my videos on the MCU and DCEU stuff. I posted a video on the Black Superman movie that has sparked some interesting conversations in the comment section, and I want to post a follow-up in a few days. So if you're not seeing those videos at all and you'd like to see that stuff, for now, just go to my channel homepage and you should see those videos featured. And from what I can tell, the majority of y'all, you really only seem to watch Star Wars, and that's cool and all, but I just don't consider myself a part of the Star Wars community, and I'm willing to take a hit on getting really low views for the next 3 to 6 months or even a year if it takes that long to grow a new audience for this channel. But anyway, it was just something I thought I would ask. If you want this to stay only Star Wars, that's cool. It's not going to happen, but just watch the Star Wars videos I post if that's what you like. But I'm just saying, look, in a few days, we have Loki, and then next month, the Black Widow, Suicide Squad, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home, all coming out possibly before Boba Fett even hits Disney Plus in December. Also, I've been talking about going back through the entire MCU phase 1 through 3 movies to look for some cool video essay topics. So I'm just saying, there's plenty of sources of content to keep me busy for the rest of 2021 before we see anything from Star Wars that isn't the High Republic or some other book that I'm too busy to read right now. So the choice is up to you. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep this channel fun for me, and y'all might not know this, but I pay close attention to what some of y'all are doing in the core audience, like the people who always comment on videos and on stuff I post outside of YouTube. Y'all are more into the MCU, so basically I'm moving in the direction of my core audience anyway. And in all honesty, I should have done this after The Last Jedi, but I kept debating on making a new channel when I should have just doubled down on expanding this channel. I just didn't know how to read my analytics back then to see that my core audience was watching those videos, even if it looked like they were underperforming. But anyway, it's all part of learning how to survive here on YouTube. But hey y'all, if you haven't seen that video about the Black Superman movie, be sure to check it out. Also, be on the lookout for the follow-up video. I'm trying to get it posted in a few days, and I'm going to drop some details I dug up that might surprise a whole lot of people. But anyway, y'all, hey, thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you, always.